Have you ever felt a chill on Halloween night that had nothing to do with the autumn air? Have you ever seen a jack-o'-lantern whose flickering grin seemed a little too real, a little too knowing? Every town has its ghost stories whispered from one generation to the next. But some legends are more than just stories. Some are waiting in the shadows, waiting for you to believe. Tonight we delve into the terrifying tale of the Pumpkin Man. They say he was born not of the earth but of pure vengeance. A soul wronged, a spirit bound to the flickering candlelight within a hollowed-out gourd. He is the guardian of the thin veil between the living and the dead, and he despises those who treat that sacred boundary as a joke. Every October 31st, as children's laughter fills the streets and costumed figures go door to door, the Pumpkin Man walks among them. He is unseen, a phantom cloaked in the scent of burnt sugar and damp earth. He listens, he watches. He is searching for the mockers, the scoffers, the ones who laugh at graveyards and desecrate old traditions with their disbelief. To them, Halloween is just a party. To him, it's a night of judgment. The legend is simple. Mock the dead, and the Pumpkin Man will find you. Your laughter will turn to screams, and your porch-lit jack-o'-lantern will be the last thing you ever see. For centuries, he has been a cautionary tale, a boogeyman to keep the disrespectful in line. Most people hear the story and dismiss it a quaint piece of folklore, nothing more. And that's exactly how the Pumpkin Man prefers it. Disbelief makes his hunt all the more satisfying. But what happens when he finds someone who isn't a mocker? What happens when, in a world of cynics, he stumbles upon a true believer? Our story begins with Alara. She wasn't like the other kids in her neighborhood. While they planned pranks and compared candy hauls, Alara spent her Octobers tending to the forgotten graves at the edge of town. She'd leave small, hand-picked flowers and whisper stories to the names carved in weathered stone. She didn't see the dead as something to fear or mock. She saw them as lonely souls who deserved to be remembered. This Halloween, a biting wind swept through the town, carrying with it a sense of ancient sorrow. As dusk settled, Alara noticed her own small pumpkin on her porch step, one she'd carved with a gentle, smiling face. But its candle wasn't flickering. It was burning with an unnaturally steady, intense light, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. Down the street, a group of teenagers were being particularly cruel. They kicked over decorations, smashed pumpkins, and shouted taunts towards the old cemetery gates. Their laughter was sharp and ugly, a sound that cut through the festive atmosphere like a shard of glass. And from the darkness, a figure began to form. He was taller than any man, his body a twisted patchwork of vines and pumpkin flesh. His head was a monstrous jack-o'-lantern, its carved eyes glowing with an infernal orange light. In one gnarled hand he carried a rusted scythe, not for harvesting wheat, but for harvesting souls. The Pumpkin Man had heard the mockery, and he had come to collect his due. The teenagers' laughter died in their throats, replaced by gasps of terror. They tried to run, but their feet felt stuck, as if tangled in roots that weren't there. The Pumpkin Man glided towards them, silent as the grave, the smell of rot and burning wax growing stronger with every step. He was the embodiment of every scary story they'd ever brushed off, and his vengeance was about to be swift and absolute. But just as he raised his scythe, a small voice called out. The creature froze, its glowing head slowly turning. There, standing at the edge of her lawn, was Alara. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't running. Her eyes, wide with awe and not fear, were fixed on him. "You're real," she whispered, her voice trembling but firm. "I always knew you were." The Pumpkin Man was taken aback. For the first time in his long, vengeful existence, he was not met with terror or disbelief. He was met with acceptance. He looked from the cowering teenagers to the girl who saw him not as a monster, but as the legend he was. Belief is a powerful thing. It's the spark that ignites legends, the fuel that gives spirits their form and purpose. For the Pumpkin Man, who was carved from vengeance, Elara's belief was like a sudden, calming balm on an eternal wound. In her eyes, he saw a reflection not of a monster, but of a sad, lonely guardian. He lowered his scythe. The intense, hateful fire in his eyes softened to a warm, flickering glow, like a candle in a quiet room. The teenagers, seeing their chance, scrambled to their feet and fled into the night. Their ignorant mockery silenced for good. The Pumpkin Man turned his full attention to Alara. He took a hesitant step towards her, the vines of his body rustling like dry leaves. He knelt, a gesture so uncharacteristically gentle it seemed to defy his very nature. He reached out a hand, not with a scythe, but with a single, perfectly formed pumpkin seed resting in his palm. It glowed with the same soft light as his eyes. Ilara didn't hesitate. She reached out and took the seed. As her fingers brushed against his vine-like hand, she felt not coldness, but a profound sense of sorrow, of a tragedy long past that had birthed this creature of the night. She understood. He wasn't evil. He was a protector twisted by the very disrespect he fought against. He gave a slow, solemn nod, a gesture of gratitude. And then, as silently as he appeared, he dissolved back into the shadows, his form breaking apart into a swirl of autumn. Leaves and fading embers, leaving only the scent of pumpkin spice and the chill of a story come to life. Ilara looked down at the glowing seed in her hand. She knew it was more than just a seed. It was a promise, a connection. That night the Pumpkin Man didn't find a victim to punish. He found a friend, a kindred spirit who understood the importance of remembering. The legend of the Pumpkin Man was forever changed. He still walks on Halloween, a guardian against those who mock the dead. But now, he carries with him the memory of a young girl's belief. A belief that reminded him that even a heart carved from vengeance can be touched by kindness. It's a reminder to all of us, tread carefully on Halloween and treat the traditions with respect. Because you never know which legends are listening, and you never know when your own belief might be the spark that gives them life. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of a modern Gothic legend. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay curious, stay respectful, and have a wonderfully spooky Halloween.